So I went to a party a few days back, and during the party, I started talking to some people, and one person came up to me. He asked me what I do, and the host introduced me. Oh, she's the best person you should be talking to. So through the conversation, I realized this person at a senior level position is being retrenched. So his team is going to be laid off by the end of this month. So he has about 3-4 months before his last day, and he was very eager to get a role as soon as possible. We start talking, and he asked me for my contact information. So I scan my QR code of my LinkedIn there, and we connect over LinkedIn. And then he reached out to me. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you how he reached out to me, what all he did, as a lesson of what not to do when you've just had a social contact with someone. Talk to them for 3-4 minutes about your situation, because he's a senior level person. He knows these things. But I also know, as a career coach in job search, that when people are in the job search, they really want to get a job out. It is a very frustrating process. So sometimes we want to expedite things, we want to go fast, and we forget about how do we build relationship in a way that it gives us some result. Hi, my name is Shubh Faujdar. I am a Singapore-based job search strategist and career coach and a former corporate recruiter. I am also a LinkedIn top voice. So if you don't already, please do follow me there. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel where I give nano tips and a deep dive every week to help with your job search and career development. So moving to my story. So this person reached out to me. We connected on LinkedIn. This was on a Sunday, which was the party. Monday morning, I receive an email on LinkedIn from him talking about how he would like to speak. But that was also the week when I was onboarding a lot of my INSEAD MBA students. I was doing workshops in Singapore Management University for the different master's programs. Basically, it was a chock full of workshops in that week. I had no bandwidth to respond. I was barely operating at the minimal level to keep my business running. So I thought I'll respond to him by the end of this week. So that was that. And then he sent me an email on Wednesday morning. So Sunday, we speak. Monday, I get the LinkedIn. Wednesday morning, he sends me an email, which is a forward of a referral he's asked somebody else. And it had a cover letter and CV attached. And he said, hey, I got your email from the LinkedIn profile. I hope you don't mind. Please find attached my CV and cover letter. Please let me know how I can amend them moving forward. And after your inputs, I will start applying for roles. And I'm like, it's very difficult for me to review CV, but I'll respond to him after I'm done with today's workshop. And then I get a screenshot from my husband. So my husband was in the party, and apparently these guys exchanged phone numbers. I did not share my phone number. And this guy reached out to my husband and said, hey, I reached out to your wife. We talked about my job search, and she hasn't responded to my email or message. I've asked her to review my CV. Could you share with me her contact number? So my husband sent me the screenshot saying that I'm sharing this. I was in a workshop at that point in time. So of course, I had no inputs there. My husband shared my contact number, and I take a break from the workshop and I see this message. And I'm thinking like, okay, this person has reached out to me on a couple of different platforms. He has reached out to my husband. He's now got my phone number. Now I'm going to receive a call. Thankfully, the person realized, or maybe the person was just not in the element. When sometimes, when people look at job search, they forget what are the etiquettes for job search and networking. And then his message on WhatsApp was very good. He was like, hey, it was lovely meeting you. I would love to have a short call with you. I did take the liberty of sending my CV and cover letter, but I know it's difficult for you to review them. But if you can spare a couple of minutes, I would love to have a conversation, and I will make myself available. So that was a good thing. But from his initial actions, honestly, I would have been very cheesed off by the time he did this, and this is me from a career coach perspective, imagine if this person wasn't even used to what job seekers go through. It's a senior person who may be traveling for work, who may have busy deadlines. You are pretty much bordering, from persistence to desperation. So I want to take this example to showcase what not to do when you're doing social connection, and maybe a couple of words about what you can do about it. So the first thing to not do is reach out to them on multiple platforms, one after the other. Look, my personal thing is to give people a week, because that week would include weekends. So sometimes people are just very busy in the work week. There's life, they have kids, everything, and they get a breather. So you give them that space and they come back to you. And if you're reaching somebody out on LinkedIn, look, LinkedIn sometimes doesn't get response. So the fact that he emailed me was brilliant. Had he not asked me to review his CV and cover letter, I would have been super impressed. So you can reach out to email or WhatsApp if you've only reached out on LinkedIn, but you need to see what your ask is. So give people about a week to respond, unless it's super urgent. Then you let them know what's urgent about it. The second thing, when he forwarded that email to me with CV and cover letter, I saw that he had sent somebody else that email asking him to refer him for a specific role. Now, I don't know if this person is speaking to a lot of people, he's spoken to this person, he's had a conversation about the job or not, but I'm assuming for the purposes of our learning that this person was a connection, maybe a very good friend, but still a connection, and has now received this email with the cover letter and CV attached for a referral for a job. Don't make your job search networking very transactional. If you're reaching out to your friends and your network, only asking them for referrals, can you connect me to someone? Very soon, those things will fizzle out and it will negatively impact your relationship. My big thing is, when you have to ask somebody of something, you also add something. Now, you don't have to add in the similar capacity, but an easy thing would be to just get on a call. Ask them how they are doing, what's happening with them, how their career is going, and then ask them about their experience in a particular company. And then leave the room for them to decide whether they want a referral or not. I do have a short 2-minute video on how to ask for referrals, but a very quick thing is an open-ended question. What is the best way for me to apply for this role? If the person says online application is the best, you know that this person is not very comfortable referring you in. If they say, I can refer you in, you've got what you wanted, and the best case scenario is this person can very well tell you that, hey, I know the hiring manager and I will be very happy to refer you to that person. So you get something you didn't even ask for. So try not to make your job search networking very conversational. And the third thing which this person did was asking me a huge favor. Look, a CV and cover letter review takes a lot of time if I do it properly. If I'm just giving, top advice, high-level advice, it's not going to make a difference. And honestly, it's not possible for me to review a CV when I don't know what all this person has done. How do I create the content for this CV? So you're asking way too much, way too soon. Had he done this after the conversation and said, hey, would you mind looking at the CV? I may have even given him some pointers on the call. But giving me homework when I've just met him for 5-10 minutes is a lot to ask. So make sure that you break down your relationship building and networking into small micro asks. And it's not too much trouble for whoever is willing to help you out. Look, I know I'm coming from a place where I'm giving all these pointers about the job search. I completely understand. When you're doing your job search, it is very confusing. It's very hard. And you may not have the bandwidth to wait for a very long time. You need the job ASAP. So these come from a place of getting you prepared to have the most impact. He salvaged the situation wonderfully through the message he sent me later on. So there's no hate on him, but hopefully this helps you with your networking. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. Till then, go make an impact. Bye.